All right. Well, welcome. Good morning. We are here with the wonderful company of BioVigil, who is a local Ann Arbor organization with top leaders with the hand hygiene devices that they're making and helping create a wonderful patient safety and healthcare industry safety. And so I'm super delighted to introduce our featured speakers today, Susie Paisley, Martha Braverman, and Bobby Cronk. But before that, I just want to, as people are starting to trickle in, I just want to wish everybody a good morning and welcome everyone to this BioVigil information session. We're delighted to have you join us. My name is Michelle Galbraith. I work at Amy Cell Talent, focused on working with employers and job seekers in our community programs and partners. I'll be facilitating today's session. As all of our attendees are trickling in, I would like to make a note of a few important items. First, this webinar will be recorded and it will be posted to the Amy Cell Talent YouTube page and BioVigil's recruiting purposes. For privacy, all participants are in listen mode only, with microphones muted and cameras off. During these live presentations, please excuse cameos from canine colleagues and other unexpected moments. We hope this doesn't happen, but if the webinar were to close unexpectedly, please reopen it from the link you used to attend this presentation. Our panelists are here to welcome your questions today. Feel free to type in your question in the Q&A box on the bottom of your Zoom window. I will be monitoring this while our panelists share their experiences. We will also have about 5 to 10 minutes of designated Q&A at the end of today's session. Before we continue on, I'll go ahead and pop out a poll for you. If you could please take a moment to answer that, that would be wonderful. If you are viewing on a phone or tablet, the Zoom app currently highlights only the active speaker. You may need to scroll to the left or right to see the presenter or the presentation. One last note, if you are posting to social media about what you learn here today, please use hashtag BioVigil. With that, I do want to share what our responses are here. The question was, have you heard about BioVigil before attending today? And all of you responded that you have heard a little bit about BioVigil, so we're wonderful to hear that. And then we just want to ask real quick, just to get a litmus test of who's attending today, how much experience you have in the workplace. Are you a high school student, college, a recent grad, or more seasoned experience, just to get a sense for who's attending. All right, so thank you to our audience for taking the time out of your day to explore BioVigil's amazing device and team members, a few of the incredible team members who are passionate about patient safety and love helping hospitals improve outcomes. They are here to share their experiences, the trajectory of BioVigil, and the many job opportunities available. BioVigil keeps you safe. All right, with that, let's just share a quick video.
As a care provider, you are committed to protecting the safety of every patient. You understand the importance of maintaining good hand hygiene practice to deliver on this commitment. The BioVigil system is a tool to reassure your patients of your commitment to their safety with every interaction. Nearly every patient engagement starts with a hand hygiene opportunity. Performing hand hygiene is a simple yet powerful way to show patients and family members that you and your team are dedicated to their safety and quality of care. BioVigil would like to support you in achieving your goal of patient safety with every reassuring interaction. The BioVigil system provides 2 primary functions to assist you in achieving this goal: reminder and awareness. When entering or exiting a patient room, you will be reminded to perform hand hygiene if you have not already done so. The awareness function provides reassurance to the patient and family members that you have followed the hand hygiene protocol prior to interacting with them. They will see an illuminated green hand on the BioVigil badge. Just like a stoplight, green means go. With each engagement, let them see your go hands. Patients will ask about the BioVigil badge. This is an opportunity to reassure them about your commitment to their care and safety.
Wonderful. So thank you, Ladesha, for sharing that. Okay, so now you got to see this device and what it does and how it helps the environment, the hospital care environment. And now let's hear from our featured speakers. Firstly, please introduce yourself, how long you've been with the company, and where you all started, and what do you do now? And we'll start with uh, whomever would like to go first.
Okay, I'll go first. Hi, I'm Susie Paisley. I've been working with BioVigil for about 4 years now. I came here from a small software startup called Amplifinity, which was actually housed our building was right next door to BioVigil. I'm supposed to be part-time head of finance and HR here. However, the job is a full-time job. And actually we are looking, my role is expanding somewhere else right now, so we are actually looking to replace me with this hiring pitch right now.
Hi, I'm Martha Braverman. I'm in client services as a client success manager. I've been with BioVigil for about a little over 2.5 years. I formerly held a client support role at Johnson & Johnson before coming to BioVigil. So our team supports new and existing clients and bringing them all the support they need to successfully run our solution.
Hello, I'm Bobby Cronk. I've been with BioVigil for about 4 years as well. I came from a software development company called MetricSoft before, more of a client service role. Currently, I handle all of the shipping needs and a little bit of the inventory management within the office.
Great. Thanks so much for sharing that with us. So Susie and Bobby have been with the organization for a longer period of time on inside and also delivery to working with clients and the technology. And then Martha being able to spread the word amongst all the different clients and success of the product being launched within the environment. So it's really great to see a subsection of each department. How was the company formed? So you figure if COVID happened and the company has been around for prior to COVID.
Yes, so I'll take this one. Back around 2011, a U of M surgeon actually founded our company. He saw the need for hand hygiene in his hospital. He was, rumor has it that he was sick and tired of having a successful operation, and then a few days later, people getting post-op infections. And he was able to connect the dots between hand hygiene and infections in hospitals. So that's where the idea for a device like this was formed.
That's incredible. So 2011, that's what is that? 7 years? I can't math. Finance, Susie.
About 11 years ago.
11 years ago. Thank you. 11 years prior to this moment in time, and understanding the needs of being a surgeon, seeing, I think that's the biggest thing when the entrepreneurial startup companies happen, is like there's such a need, and how do we solve that challenge or need? And then the fact that BioVigil has seen such a big improvement from implementing the device at the stations, because I've done a little research and seeing that numbers drastically reduce in terms of the infections within even the infectious disease departments. So it's wonderful to hear that it started so long ago and is something that is such a needed device. So what's I talked a little bit about the COVID. How has BioVigil pivoted in the last year during this COVID season?
Excellent question. In terms of the work that we do, we haven't really had to change much, which has been great. Business has been booming. Washing your hands is very important. Who would have thought? But in terms of being in the office, we've definitely had to change some things up. The folks that can work remote, have gone to a remote setting. They're working offsite. That's since being transitioned into a little bit of a hybrid type schedule. We're implemented a mask mandate following the CDC guidelines. We follow those pretty closely. But generally, those of us that have had to be here, we've kept coming in, and we're still working today.
Thanks for sharing that with us, Bobby. And so in terms of knowing that the company was from 2011, we hit with COVID in 2019, did you see like a boom from the hospitals and the community reaching out for, a need like this and may not have even known about it?
Yeah, I think that, I mean, the awareness, I think, of the an electronic hand hygiene system probably became, forefront to a lot of hospitals, but we really didn't skip a beat as far as, inquiries about the system and having to install and implement and support clients. So we did see a little bit of an increase. Yeah. Came at a everybody knows that hand hygiene is important, but suddenly everyone really realizes the importance of it. So
That's right. I imagine when we were younger, the first thing our parents teach us is, did you wash your hands before you ate? After you came out of the bathroom, did you wash your hands? It's that concept, but now like really enforcing it, and by having this device to share the levels of hand hygiene, I think that's really phenomenal as well. What's it like to be part of the organization, Martha? I know you came from Johnson & Johnson, a large organization, and now this wonderful startup or small business.
yeah, I mean, it is a great place to work where, the cross-functional teams work together. We're like a family. It's great to share ideas, among our colleagues and come up with better ways of doing things. We're innovating and we're changing things, and everyone's very passionate about the work we do. So it's a great place to work.
Yeah, I can imagine that the innovation is incredible, like on full throttle, right? And then implementation in all these hospitals and different environments that might be also interested in taking on this device. What challenges do you see in the marketplace right now that you foresee, and how you might be able to address that?
Yeah, some of the things that I come across as a client success manager during implementation, you really have to kind of win over your end user. Staffing in hospitals and healthcare are really, they're tapped out right now, especially after the last couple of years. So sometimes, their first impression of BioVigil is another thing for them to wear, another thing for them to monitor and do when they know they're washing their hands, according to their policy anyway. So that's one of the challenges that we face during implementation and training.
And I can add to that from my point of view, from the finance seat, is supply chain. And I'm sure that's not a surprise to anybody. Those are some challenges we are dealing with, and we so far have been, we have tackled every challenge and have made things work, but we've had to get creative and do some shuffling and rearranging to meet our needs, given the change in the supply chain area. So that's, from that point of view, that's been a challenge for us.
Yeah, as well as shipping. Getting things places is taking longer and longer. Yeah, everybody's remote, right? So everybody's buying things from Amazon. They're out in the world a little bit less. So Susie had mentioned supply chain issues. So it's taking a little bit longer to get here, but we also need to ship it a little bit sooner than we used to. So it's a bit of a balancing act, but we're doing well.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear. I mean, challenges there's always going to be a new challenge that we face, but that your company is ready and agile to face those challenges and meet them where they're at, even with the supply chain aspect difficulties that's affecting everyone. That you're still able to deliver to your customers, your clients, and as also Martha mentioned, you know, the adoption of the device in the environment and working with those teams to help them understand that this device is going to save time. It was very interesting that I had the opportunity to watch some of your webinar videos as well on BioVigil, so I definitely encourage the attendees to take a look at that. But that there's organizations that are adopting it in different departments because they have seen it work well in a department, and that they're able to now use it in job descriptions, that this is part of the job description, that the BioVigil aspect of hand hygiene is in there, and then it's also in their performance evals. So BioVigil is not just in the environment, but it's people are being performance on how well they are keeping that up to speed. So just for those of you that might not be aware, there is reports that get run. So I'm sure probably you might be able to speak to that, but there are analytics that go along with it.
So one of the things that makes our solution very powerful and what differentiates us from the other hand hygiene monitoring solutions that are out there is the power of our data. We collect a lot of data, and we have tools to analyze it and report on it. And that is sort of one of our challenges, is communicating that and making that piece known and showing people how powerful that data can be. Because you can learn a lot from the data we collect.
Definitely, you can splice and dice and figure out where the points are, I guess, that for the departments, I assume, to improve on, or to see the wonderful measures that have reduced the number of infections that have been spread within the department. So I think that's really cool, and really data is king. You know, the more you can understand data and transfer it to how it helps an organization, that's just a wonderful tool to know that differentiates BioVigil from other items that are out there, other devices. Thank you. So given that, how do you see the organization continue to evolve in the next 5 years? Would you be able to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of growth ahead of us. A lot of innovation, a lot of product refinement. Ways that we can collect more data in a more meaningful way. I think that's going to be the biggest selling point for us moving forward is innovation and refinement.
Yep, continuing to innovate the device and meet the needs of your target audience, the audience that uses your items. And there's such I get excited about it because I think about these, young families that are sending their kids to school. And as I mentioned earlier, folks are saying, remember to wash your hands. The kids, it's like the hardest thing, right? And so there's such a great opportunity, opportunity to expand that bandwidth. And then that your company is hiring. Your company is hiring for several positions because of the need out there. So I just want to remind our audience members that is why we're here today too, to share about the amazing device and the people behind it, but also that there are opportunities with this growing company. And to meet those needs in 5 years that Bobby was talking about.
Something else I
ahead.
just wanted to add too is that, the longer that we have clients using the system, the more data we collect and the more outcomes we can show and the more, publications we can get out there to show the effectiveness of the solution and how it really helps in so many ways, not just hand hygiene compliance. So I think over the years, we'll see that as well.
That's great. Thank you, Martha. So what would you, so we talked a little bit about the organization, the future of the organization, the growth of the organization. What benefits, so if somebody were to interview or apply, what benefits does your company offer?
So I'll take that one. So we have a very robust medical, dental, vision plan, a very nice plan through Blue Cross. We offer a couple choices there. We have 401k, flexible spending account. We have life insurance, long-term disability. We have, a maternity leave policy. We have a very fair, flexible vacation policy. And our holidays are really good too. We have the standard Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, Thanksgiving. We also basically shut the company down between Christmas and New Year's. So there's usually about a 9-day break there to give everybody time to recharge. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think our policies are very fair and flexible. We're a small company. We value our people's mental health as well. We try to make people happy, and we want them to come to work and want to come to work. So we try to take care of our people. It's important.
Thank you. Yes, sounds very robust, and that even the fact that you, as you explained during Christmas holidays or the holiday season, that you shut down during the 9-day break. That's not common, I would say, across many organizations. And then the robust benefits that you offer and package. So it's just wonderful to hear too the commitment to mental health and making sure your team is happy. So thank you for sharing that with us. So given that, maybe you can each take turns to talk a little bit about what do you like best about the position that you hold right now. What is the most satisfying part of your job?
I probably have a list of things. I mean, I really do love my job here. I love the balance of implementing new clients and getting them up and running, and then along with supporting clients that have been around for over 5 years, fostering relationships and nurturing them and maintaining them is really rewarding. From the leadership level right down to the end user of the system, it's really rewarding. Especially also seeing the progress when clients might first implement, and the adoption and learning curve is there's a little bit of hand-holding that needs to happen, and it's just really rewarding when people embrace it and see the benefits of the system.
Thank you, Martha.
I'd like to say my favorite part about the job here is I feel like every single person at this company is part of a team. Everybody helps each other out, lifts each other up. Being a small company, we all have to wear many hats. Nobody says, that's not my job. People troubleshoot together. We have, when we have different projects, we pull people in from all parts of the company, not just one department. And so it's a really solid team here. And, it sounds a little bit trite, but it really is. Very solid team.
Yeah, I just want to add to that. I find myself working within a lot of different teams, being a shipping coordinator and things like that. And I find that I always feel valued. That is huge for me. Prior to this, I've worked in the service industry. I've worked in insurance. Obviously, nobody's happy with their insurance agent, right? And it's very different here. I truly feel like I can pick up the phone and talk with anyone and, bounce ideas off of anyone. And it's just the team that we've created and the culture we've created is second to none.
I love that. I'm sorry, if you had any more to add, Susie, I wasn't sure if you unmuted.
Oh, no, that's,
I love that. I love hearing, from the beginning from Martha talking about that relationship that she builds with the customers and the clients and how she's in there working, a little bit of the hand holding that you talked about, and you get to see the success and how that helps that organization, but that relationship that you've continued to develop and it doesn't, you don't let go, right? It's something that is important to you and the success, as well as that team environment, that very beautiful collaboration that you talked about, Susie and Bobby, with pulling people in to troubleshoot when there is when there's a challenge that arises, and having different perspectives. I assume by doing that, from pulling from different departments. So I think that's key to being very successful as an organization, that collaborative nature as well. And so would you say that's something you're and I'm throwing this in here because I'm thinking about our audience who, they'd want to come work for BioVigil because there's such a great opportunity in the environment. Would you say that's one of the skills that you're like, if you think of top 3 skills, I know I'm throwing this out there, but top 3 skills that you would be looking for in your hire at BioVigil?
I think it certainly depends on the position, right? Some of the hard skills versus the soft skills. Soft skills, yes, I would say you've got to have a can-do attitude and be optimistic, and you've got to be a team player. Those are some of the softer skills. Depending on the position, your harder skills. I would say, for example, my job, you need to have attention to detail, be able to, pay a lot of attention to detail. However, you need to be able to be doing a million things at once. The controller job here is it's a one-person department. So you get to print the checks and walk to the mailbox and mail them. And you also have to, be able to manipulate and create a pretty complicated financial model and everything in between. And have HR skills. You have to be a people person and understand payroll and HR and how all that stuff works. So that's that particular job. Some of the other hires, for our assembly techs and our install techs, you've got to be, handy, right? You've got to be skilled with your hands and be able to troubleshoot. You've got to have some good people skills. If you're traveling to our customers, anybody that's physically comes in contact with our customers, you've got to have good, outward people skills. But yeah, I think overall, anybody we hire, you've got to be a team player and willing to chip in. Because we all wear a lot of hats and we all help each other out as much as we can.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that as well. In terms of the production and the installation technician, because we all wear a lot of hats, oftentimes we're fairly busy as well, right? So it's very important that you're a self-starter and have a strong attention to detail, because you're not going to be micromanaged. You're not going to have somebody looking over your shoulder all the time. So there's a little bit of a trust there that we need to have, right, with our employees. And so knowing that you have a strong attention to detail is very important.
Thank you so much for diving in there in terms of top skills, as well as separating hard skills for different positions that would need, whether it's technology or that the running those pivot tables or financial models, and then as you mentioned, Bobby, having that initiative and the autonomy to continue to move forward without the micromanaging. and that trust that's important there. So thank you. And then Martha, I don't know if you wanted to add on to it in terms of like skills or talents, because I believe, customer success managers also, you're looking for some other additional support there. What would you say you're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, I would echo what Bobby and Susie say about self-starters, motivators. For the client success role, you really need to be able to juggle a lot of balls in the air at once. When you're managing several different clients, you have their needs vary. And, obviously you need to be responsive and, empathetic, sharing that sense of urgency. But, mostly, or in addition to being a people person and being able to engage with lots of different personalities. So probably those are pretty important.
Thank you for expanding on that, Martha. Appreciate it. Yeah, I imagine as you go into the hospital environment, you did talk about how you are working with leadership all the way to staff on the floors or hospital floors. I should clarify that. But so that having to understand the different personalities and needs of those levels is important, and that empathetic piece that you discussed. Yeah, because I can imagine that, when there's urgency and these are tough situations, these health practitioners are in and patients are in. That's why they're there. So thank you. What future do you see for the job market in this particular career? What trends do you see developing over the next few years for the careers that you are in?
Take it from my end. I see in the seat that I sit in, I think there's going to be a need for really understanding the whole company, every part of the company, because when you sit in the in the controller seat or the finance seat, you have to understand every piece of the company. So you've got to have a broad knowledge and be able then to boil down to the details. And I think it's heading that way if it's not there already.
Okay, thank you. And then I know you talked a lot about also the data piece and the technology piece. It's earlier on, and that I can imagine, how you stress that understanding this data and how that would be helpful for the organization and the future organizations using this device would be important too. What would you say, and I think we already covered this actually, what would you say, so I'm going to skip the skills because we talked about that already. What would you say is your typical day like? So I love that each of you talked about, wearing multiple hats, interacting with different departments and team members. What would you say is your typical day?
I don't know if any of my days are typical, to be honest, but one day, if I'm not traveling to a hospital to an existing client and checking in with staff and checking on our equipment, I'm at a hospital with a new client, training. Usually we establish a training schedule that will span, because we're in a hospital, the training schedule will span over day shift, night shift, and weekends. So that's not all the time, but that comes with implementing new clients. The days that I'm not actually at a client, the email box is filling up with report requests or other needs for the clients. And then we also have internal meetings, planning meetings, trying, as Bobby and Susie both mentioned, we are innovating. So that's an exciting thing to be a part of as well. So again, I don't know if any day is really typical, but hopefully that gives you some color around some of the typical days over a span of time.
I can tell you mine is, some of my time has to be scheduled and planned out. For instance, closing the books every month. You kind of know when, what days of each month you're going to be working on that. You have to run payroll on a very regular schedule. You can't miss that. You have some very angry people. So some of it is you have to plan out and you have sort of a somewhat, I'll call it rigid, with quotes around it, schedule. There's a lot of meetings because, there's just a lot going on. And then, in this role, you do have to make sure you get some heads down time and some, submarine time to work on hard things, difficult things, projects. So it's a real mix. And, you have to learn to balance the fires that come into your email box that, that you have to put out versus the time you need to be in a submarine to actually work on something that's hard, or, the some of the routine stuff too. So it's a real mix, and you never, there's always a lot of fires that come at you that you have to take care of, but it's there's never a dull moment. You have a real mix of everything.
Yeah, similar to Martha, at least in my current role, every day is a little bit different. A lot of times it's coordinating with other departments, figuring out, what their needs are, if there's needs. Martha and I work a lot together in terms of figuring out our current client needs, shipping out equipment, things like that. And the time that I spent as an assembly technician, it's a little bit of a different story. Assembling everything, prepping everything to be assembled. It can be a little monotonous at times, just getting everything together. But typically, those days are fairly structured. But knowing that everything can kind of take a toll on you, we definitely try and mix things up in our production area, just to keep things fresh, keep people involved, and keep them attentive is a big part of all of that. But again, that can be a little different as well every day. But typically in the back, we're pretty structured, pretty planned out. So
Thanks for sharing that, Martha, Susie, and Bobby, the different perspectives in your departments and areas. And also Bobby for sharing a little bit more about the assembly technician, that role that they play, the important role that they play, because that's the beginning of the device being created. And the quality, I can imagine quality, and then of course you talked about the logistics of getting the items to put the assembly line together for the technicians. So I think that's really important, because I know that's one of the positions you're also hiring for at BioVigil. So it's good to get a sneak peek into that and what that looks like in the other departments as well. So I understand that each of the positions have a different need, and one of the questions we sometimes comes up, and I also want to invite the audience, please enter your questions in the Q&A box, and we'll get to your questions as we start to receive them. Can you live and work anywhere, or can your job be done only in certain places? So I get a feeling for a little bit from Bobby for the technician and supply chain, but would love to hear a little bit of your take on it.
Yeah, in terms of the assembly technician and the installation technician positions, obviously the assembly technician, we're going to need you in the office. It's pretty hands-on, getting everything put together. The installation technician has a little bit more flexibility, but we definitely would like, the applicant to be in the area. There's a little bit of an expectation there that if you're not necessarily traveling, you're helping assemble the products, helping get everything together. One, just to make you familiar with the products, keep your hands on it, but also just to help out more or less, right? So, but yeah, I'll let the other two, because the other roles are a little different.
Yeah, so mine, you can work remotely. Of course, we learned that, right, as we all did starting in 2020. However, it'll work better if you are local to the office and can at least be in here a couple of days a week. You know, there are things like you got to get the mail. That's one thing, and just meeting with people. So yes, the job can feasibly be done remotely, but ideally you're in the office at least a couple of days a week. So a hybrid model would work for something here. And I can speak for some of our other roles, our software developers and our data person. That team, that, you know, part of the engineering team, we'll call it, they work collaboratively a lot, and they are in the office, not every day, but they have a schedule where they're in together at least a couple, 3 days a week. And so the same thing goes for that position. It's just the nature of the job for collaboration. There's nothing like doing it in person. We do a lot of Zoom meetings and a lot of team meetings, but you know, again, there's something to be said for meeting in person, and that's the way our company works, flexible, you know, with a flex schedule like that.
And for the client success roles that we have open, I know that we're looking for somebody to support some of our clients in the Midwest. And the other client success manager, I believe we're looking for in the Ann Arbor area. However, I don't know that that is set in stone. Susie, you might be able to comment on that. But I think that's what we're looking for at this time, right? Midwest and Ann Arbor.
Yep, ideally.
Ideally. Yeah.
Ideally.
Thank you for the details on that. And somebody did ask about the positions all the positions that are available at BioVigil. So Ladesha has shared this on the screen. You can see that there are several open positions, some of which do offer some training, if I understand correctly, and then others that you know, that they may have looking for more experienced folks. So hopefully you have access to that. I just want to remind everyone, this also can be found on our Amy Cell Talent job board postings. All of BioVigil's openings are there, as well as the requirements and qualifications that they're looking for and traits. But you have the inside scoop today, getting to talk to several of the folks from the BioVigil team. One of the questions that also just popped up, team, here is entry-level tech jobs, or do you offer entry-level tech jobs or internships?
Right now, we are looking for full-time jobs. Entry level, yes. I mean, as in, so we will train you on our equipment. I mean, our equipment is like no other. So anybody that would start at our assembly tech job or install tech job, they would have to be trained. So it would almost, you know, be entry level. But we are looking for full-time at the moment. Right now, we're not looking for internships at this very moment. Does that help?
Yeah, I think so. That's great. Question of the audience member. So it's good to know that there's the entry-level positions that you can be trained on, because it's a very specific product. BioVigil is very unique, and that, as you heard from Bobby too, you're in that environment, you're working with your team, and you're getting that product out the door, and the quality aspect of it. So I'm sure there's many checkpoints that the team has to go through before it's put on the truck and shipped out. And before Martha receives it on the other end and is training on that side with the staff at the locations that they're using the device correctly. Great, thank you so much. And let's see, I want to make sure that we've covered most of our questions, because we are pretty much at the Q&A time. So this is a great opportunity for everyone to just populate their Q&A in here. And Ladesha, if you don't mind, just keep the slide with the postings for now, just so that way the folks that are still looking at it, they can ask questions if they need to about a specific position. But back to give me one moment. Sorry, my screen is. There's another question that has come from our audience, and for those I could get training for are the ones called installation technician and assembly technician.
Yeah, like Susie was saying, our products are our own, so you're not going to have any experience with them anywhere else. So you will get a lot of training with our products, with the assembly technician and the installation technician positions.
Thank you. And then I would also say there came in another question about who to apply, like who you should be submitting your application to. So we're very fortunate to be working alongside and partnering with BioVigil to celebrate their successes, to celebrate their growth. And so all of the positions that you see posted here, listed here, are on our website, and our team is helping manage all the applications. And so if you're interested in a job, please go to our website and submit an application, because we have several folks supporting the team depending on the role. And so there is a great need, and they're looking for these opportunities to help bring in new people as well as grow the company, as you heard, that team environment and innovation and relationship management. So if you have any questions specifically about things, please submit them through the application process, or you can send me an email, but primarily for applications, you want to go directly to our website and apply there. And then the website, just as a reminder, and I think it might be on one of our other slides, but just as a reminder, and LaDacia will put this in the chat window. Thank you, Susie. If you want to go ahead and it's www.amycelltalent.com/job boards. But there's a specific link that LaDacia can drop into the chat window, so that way you have access to it. All right. Another question has come from our audience member. Thank you so much. Being a finance department of one, what's the annual budget in managing future customer growth?
So annual budget, that's interesting. Well, I'm not, we don't need to, I'm not really comfortable sharing exactly what our annual budget is right now for managing customer growth, but we do, we have a growth plan for this year and next year, and we have plenty of money in the budget to cover that growth. So we have that all spelled out, planned out, and that's part of the process that we go through every year for the budgeting process. But if you're interested in our controller job, please apply, and we can go into more details.
Great. Thank you so much, Susie. Yes, as you heard, Susie, every month she has those routine things that she has to manage and plan for. So, but yeah, it's a growing company would have, have all these decisions that they need to make based on all the different departments. So thank you for answering that for us, Susie. And yes, definitely, if you're interested in the position, apply, get to know the company, get to know the organization, and celebrate what you might be able to contribute to BioVigil. All right. I want to give another few moments for folks to answer or submit any questions. But if and I'll give that moment. Are there any last parting advice or parting words, I guess is what I'm looking for, that you would like to share with our audience members? When I I guess start with whom? Susie, I think you're unmuted at this moment.
Oh, I am. Sure. So, well, first of all, thank you for attending this. We're really happy to have all this interest here. And I really encourage you, if you're interested in any of these jobs that we have posted, please apply. We're growing like gangbusters. We really need people. Like we said, I think you'd love working here. I know you love working here. It's a great team. And so if you have any desire to work with us, please apply. I encourage it. Thank you.
Yeah, I would say that as well, that it is a great place if you want that, small company family feel. It's the exact opposite of working in a big corporation. We are growing and it is exciting. Just in the 2.5 years that I've been here, there have been a lot of changes. I've been able to, participate in decisions and process improvements and things like that. So you have a voice here, and it's really exciting, and we really are doing things for the greater good. Patient safety is huge. Hospitals that have installed our solution become desired hospitals for people to go to. So if you have any other questions, I think that you can let us know.
Yeah, I just want to add, the environment is incredible here. I truly wake up every day excited to come to work. I feel that the relationships I've built here will last, and I just absolutely love that. So yes, please apply. You will absolutely love it here.
Thank you. It's very exciting. I got super excited when I got to learn more about BioVigil, and then I was investigating on your website. It was like having fun looking through the webinars and hearing more about the company and all the wonderful things that you do, and especially hearing from the hospital staff about the improvements there, how the device has made such a difference. And that it's just, it's just widespread, and there's such a need, and it's a growing need. So definitely apply to this amazing company. You hear about their collaboration, the teamwork, their innovation, the ability to respond in real time, have that kind of autonomy to help move the company forward, and then the ability to have this wonderful benefit package to also support you as in your health as well as your mental health piece. So I think there's such wonderful opportunities here. So take advantage of this. And then, of course, we did share in the chat window the BioVigil website, because you'll find a lot of wonderful information there, as well as our website, which has the applications and specific details for each of the positions that they're hiring for. And then I also want to take a moment to thank you very much to our panelists here today, Susie Paisley, Martha Braverman, and Bobby Cronk. We are so delighted that you shared your time with us and the audience too, to learn more about your behind the scenes look of BioVigil, which creates incredible technology and a device for patient safety and healthcare professionals. BioVigil is not only providing employees a rewarding career, but also makes the lives of healthcare professionals and their patients safer and more efficient in the workplace. Thank you to the audience also for joining us today. Please take a moment to respond to our survey at the end. Share what you learned today. Share with others that might be looking for positions, your family, your neighbor, a previous colleague. And most of all, we wish all of you, both BioVigil and our audience member, the best in your career endeavors. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we wish you the best. Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Oh,